a crazy story. Might need to get into that. They're all crazy.
When you're of a certain pedigree, you're a little nuts, dude. They have money.
Yeah.
They have power.
That's Epstein level.
Yeah, they abuse it. You know.
Yeah.
Bunch of little freaks, dude. That's all that is.
So sad.
Little freaks.
T
man.
Swift might be suing.
Oh,
AI images of her naked. They're not real.
they're all Photoshop.
They're all Photoshop and stuff like that. Or AI. I don't know how that works. 1 minute away.
Yep.
There's a battle going on right now on our YouTube viewing. Fernandez versus Carolina Teague. Who had the most views? As of this morning, it was tied.
Really?
Literally tied with the number of views. Now, it was a little bit different on Facebook and on Twitter. Carolina won. But on YouTube views, Fernandez was up there. Can you show me the chat line?
Yeah. Oh, man, I love that. I was just thinking about that. Guess who I friended the other day?
Who's that?
Mr. John Lyle from the Lyle and Han Show.
Nice.
And you look at this. It's Friday, and we don't give a damn. I remember that sound drop from the Lyle and Han Show back in the day.
I remember.
Dude.
Here's news from
We
abroad.
need to get him on the show.
Here's news from abroad. What's up, guys?
All right, we are ready.
My name is Mike Jimenez. This is the Alamo City Sports Cast coming at you from West San Antonio, West Side, and also West Bear County. Joe Garcia producing today's show. We have made it to Friday. It is Spurs game day, Bala. It is game day for your San Antonio Spurs. Lots to get into today, Joe. First and foremost, did Wemby get snubbed? The starters for the NBA All-Star game were announced yesterday. Was not expecting it, but TNT, the talking heads, Ernie, Kenny, Shaq, all those guys, they named who they believe will be the replacements, not the replacements, but the reserves.
Yeah.
None of them picked Wemby. So he might have to actually get that reserve spot, the replacement spot rather.
Due to somebody getting injured or
exactly, or somebody not wanting to go. Lots to get into when it comes to that tonight. Spurs back in action against Portland. It's a late start, 8:30 tip-off. I'll be drunk by 9.
Well, we'll be there in attendance. We're going to be at the game, full disclosure tonight.
Yeah.
I invited you. I invited my boy, Chris Leja, and also our good friend, Mike Bias, friend of the show as well.
I'm looking forward to it. NFL, we'll give our predictions for this weekend's games. We are down to 4 AFC Championship game between the Chiefs and Ravens, NFC Championship game between the Lions and the Niners. We'll get into that. Pop culture news. Kurt Cobain. Now, it's been almost 30 years since he killed himself, but the autopsy results were leaked yesterday, at least what appear to be the autopsy results. We'll get into that. It's also a very tragic anniversary. 4 years ago today, we learned about the passing of Kobe Bryant in that helicopter crash just outside of Los Angeles. We'll talk about our memories of Kobe Bryant and things like that. And fellas, choose your fighter. Because I have a poll on Twitter right now. I just posted it right now at MJ Acquire Taste. Who's the number 1 overall seed of hotness? Okay, March Madness is coming. We need to get our seeds going. But I want to know the number 1 overall seed. These are both 1 seeds. But choose your fighter right now. Paige Sporonic, who I met last year. My hand on her lower back. It happened. I have photographic proof of this.
This wasn't a tall tale.
Not a tall tale.
Right.
None of them are tall tales. They're all legit. It's just whether I have proof or evidence, right? So the number 1 overall seed, are we choosing Paige Sporonic or are we choosing superstar actress Sydney Sweeney?
I already voted, bro, and it's by a landslide, 75% right now. Sydney Sweeney.
Okay,
and I'm helping that.
I just posted this like 5 minutes ago.
I'm already going ahead and voting.
So Sydney Sweeney is on Hot Ones this week on YouTube.
She's a hot one, dude.
Oh my goodness. Dude, I saw that whole episode last night. Amazing. Let's see. It's Friday. It is January 26th. The weather's getting a little bit nicer. We had 7 inches of rain this month. The second wettest month in San Antonio history for the month of January of all time. which is crazy, or the last 125 years or whatever it's been.
The votes have just swayed in Paige Veronic's favor.
Oh, my goodness. These are going back and forth. They're bouncing back and forth, very much like Sydney Sweeney's. But, man, I'm looking forward to this poll. I really am. We're going to have to update this on Monday, by the way.
I'm looking at the comments, bro. Like, John Dwyer says, San Antonio's villain strikes again. Because of what you said about the Cowboy Breakfast.
Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, so this morning I was getting on Twitter and I realized that it was Cowboy Breakfast over at the AT&T Center or the Frost Bank Center. Go frost yourself. By the way, we're live on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. If you want to take part in the show, go on to our YouTube stream, subscribe, like Alamo City Sports Cast. You can be part of the show. We read your comments from time to time if they're good ones. We also have a buy us a coffee QR code up there. If you want to pay us a tip, that helps. Doesn't pay our bills. It pays for our equipment. So let's just go ahead and do that. But so apparently it's Cowboy Breakfast. Had no idea. And I'm seeing all these photos about these videos on Twitter, all these news reports about.
It's the last breakfast.
Yeah, they're making all these tacos down there, right? And I'm like, Frost Bank Center. It used to be Central Park Mall. And then they moved it over to Far West Rodeo, and then they moved it all over the place. And I was like, who wants to go to this? Who actually goes to Cowboy Breakfast
at 5 a.m, mind you,
in the year 2024?
Yeah. Really?
Who does this?
I mean, it's a staple. I mean, people are going to want to go, Mike, because it's the last Cowboy Breakfast, But I think it'll come back. But I think at this time, the next time it comes back, maybe they should charge people, to go and enter the facility.
But isn't the draw the free tacos?
But the thing is, it's hard to give away free stuff nowadays because the cost of everything is so high. Like they were even explaining, like the cost of eggs and just the stuff to make.
Oh, true.
The tacos are so expensive now. You're not going to have a sponsor that's going to give you something for free. I mean, they might give it to you at a discount, but at the end of the day, I think they need to make the Cowboy Breakfast a paid event,
Now, this is the official start of the San Antonio Rodeo. Now, the rodeo doesn't really get going in full swing until like February 8th, right?
Yeah.
And people were giving me crap on Twitter saying that I'm the villain in San Antonio because I said that I'm going to be marked safe from this, right? I'm not going to go. Like, there's a taqueria on every side of town, every corner. Why do we go to the east side and go early in the morning or whatever time they're going to have it, go have these cold ass tacos out there and just stand there? Now, when I was younger, I remember going to one over at Central Park Mall, but it wasn't because I got up at 5 a.m. to go. It was because I was drunk off my ass from the night before. I think I went to like the Atrium the night before, went clubbing, went dancing, went drinking, and I was hung the F over, and it was free food. So I stood in the cold over there to get free tacos, and it was miserable. Why are people standing around having breakfast? I don't get it. Now I'm going to ask you this question because I'm okay with the rodeo. Going to the Frost Bank Center, checking out the animals. I take my kids, go to the carnival. I'm okay with the rodeo. In fact, I will say this. I like the rodeo. I would much rather go to the rodeo than Fiesta. Fiesta's dead to me.
No, come on.
Dude, Fiesta is the biggest waste of money anybody can do in San
Antonio.
Antonio.
You're undefeated at fights at Fiesta, right?
I am. I'm 1-0.
Oh, my God, bro.
I'm 1-0 at Fiesta fights. Beat somebody's ass at Oyster Bake. It happened. It was like the year 2008. It was right around there. But so you're a Fiesta guy.
I like Fiesta. Me and my family go to Fiesta. We like going to the parade, of course, like the night parade. We like hanging out, Market Square, going to some of the events and stuff. It's cool, man. It's like a San Antonio staple.
Now, I don't want to hear about how Taste of the Northside's Fiesta because it's not.
Hey, man, I like going over there to the Taste
of
the Northside.
I'm sure it's great. And if it's like $300 or whatever it is.
Hey, but you get food and drink. I mean,
I get it, but it's not Fiesta, dude. I mean, that is pinky out Fiesta. Fiesta to me
that's your crowd, Mike. Let's be honest.
Dude, no, I would not feel comfortable over there, dude. I would not feel comfortable over there. I might manage $20 to $30 million, but I do not want to be in the north side. Those are not my people. Okay. Stone Oak is not my people. Okay. But then again, the idea of standing around at Oyster Bake doesn't do it for me. The idea of going to Nyosa doesn't do it for me.
I don't mind oyster bake, but now that I'm getting up there in age, it's just not my thing anymore. Like, it depends on what band they're gonna have at oyster bake. Might intrigue me to go in and hang out and chill out, but it's hot as shit most of the time. You got to park your car like way the hell out in no man's land. By the time you get up there and walk, it's hot, it's humid. You have to walk just to get to the oyster bake. Then you got to walk to the facility itself, and you're crowded in. And then all they got is Bud Light products, bro. I'm not a fan of Bud Light, man. Let's put it like that.
Mario Cavazos reached out to us on our YouTube stream saying Michael is canceled culture, not going to Fiesta. Chris Gonzalez saying that he's upset that they moved the food from the front of the church and the rides down the street. Asking the question, I like this one. Poteet Strawberry Festival. Chris Gonzalez. I like the Poteet Strawberry Festival.
I think it's better than the Fiesta Carnival, by the way, because it's more spread out, it seems. And
the thing about the
parking,
about the Poteet Strawberry Festival, you have to get there before it opens.
Oh yeah,
because if you try to get there at 11, ain't gonna happen.
The line's down the street, bro.
Me and my future ex-wife and my kids, we tried going down there a few years ago.
Jeez.
We tried going like around 10:30 or 11. Good luck. We were in line for over an hour, didn't even move. We ended up going to a Pizza Hut down the street in Poteet.
That's when you pee in a cup in the car, bro.
Exactly. But man, there's nothing better than that Dairy Queen in Poteet. That is like the most legit
top tier
one. So if I was to rank them, I would say that I'd have number one being San Antonio Rodeo because I don't have to drive as far. I like the rides. You have the animals. You got more to do. I would say San Antonio Rodeo number one. And they have the concerts, the good concerts, right? Number two, I'm going to say Poteet Strawberry Festival. Number
You're
three,
not hanging out with the poodle crowd at the Poteet Strawberry Festival.
I love the Poteet Strawberry Festival.
You're gonna go listen to Tejano Vans, bro.
Oh yeah, baby.
Come on, man.
Bobby Pulido and all those guys.
You're gonna have the Roach Killer boots, or you're gonna have the boots that
curl up.
The curl up.
No, man, it's all about corn in the cup, dude. It's all it is. And I love strawberries, man. And everything is strawberry over there. I love it. Number three, Cornival in Helotes.
All right,
that's a fun time, dude. They even have, like, when the Spurs were in the playoffs, they would have, the big screens up so you could watch it.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. Way, 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 way down there, though, is Fiesta. Now, I tend to go to one Fiesta event a year. Last year, I went to the Battle of Flowers parade, but then again, I also had the VIP seats over at KSAT 12's, bleachers, right? So I did that. Got to hang out with Steve Spriester and David Sears and all those guys. But no, I have no desire to go to Nyosa. I have no desire to go to King William. No desire to do any of that crap. Pay $12 for a chicken on a stick. Pay $30 for parking. Walk on piss. Use porta potties. Run into people that you don't like to see. Yeah. Almost get into fights, even though I am undefeated. Fiesta sucks. It absolutely sucks.
No,
and for people to say that they enjoy it, I don't buy it. Because the same people who go over there, no, you're saying that, but we would go. If I went with you, you'd be bitching by the end of the night.
No, dude, I like Fiesta. You hang out with the gente, dude. You hang out with the gente, man. It's your people, bro.
Now, back in the 90s, there used to be something called the Nyosa Kiss. Do you remember the Nyosa Kisses?
Oh, my God.
Dude, that was super spreader event right there. I'm glad that COVID didn't exist back then, but that was a line of college kids, and I was one of them, where you'd have a line of guys and a line of girls, and you would just like make out. You just pick the next person, and it was like 10-second makeouts in consecutive order. Get like 10 or 12 makeouts in about 8 minutes.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude, super spreader event back then.
Man, the comments, bro, they got me laughing.
Okay,
bro.
what do you got, man? I haven't been reading the comments.
They're making fun of you because you hate the Cowboy Breakfast, and they're like, I heard that Mike hangs out with Ted Cruz. He writes love letters to Yolanda Salvador.
And you know what's funny?
He forgives Kawhi. Bro, this is like comedy on its own right here, dude.
And you know what's funny is that I had that comment earlier today, that post on Twitter about me not liking the Cowboy Breakfast. Ricardo Fernandez, also known as the real Spernandez, who was on with us yesterday, agreed with me. And he says, I cannot believe I'm agreeing with Jimenez so often this week.
Yeah.
Because yesterday I would say something about the Spurs. He goes, "Oh man, I kind of agree. Oh man, I kind of agree. Oh man, I kind of agree." And I had to call him out. I was like, "Wait a minute, you always disagree with me."
Yeah. Look at our good friend Rudy
Rudy
Campos.
Campos.
I log in here. You talking about walking on piss. Thought you were in my old neighborhood. Then they mentioned oyster bacon. I realized, yeah, you were in my neighborhood.
Okay, so first of all, one thing I will respect about oyster bake, all those people who live in the houses like off of Cincinnati,
Entrepreneurs, bro. Come on now. Don't hate the hustle.
The funeral home, the Ortiz mortuary across the street, it's like $30 parking, and they're parking on the grass. Is there an HOA over there? F no, dude. There ain't no HOA.
Yeah, they're gonna have some busted pipes, bro. They're like, hey man, we got like 3 inches. Gente, dude. $30. Come on.
And it's either an 80-year-old woman trying to get you to park or some 7-year-old boy. And like, he's leading me in.
And he talks nothing but Spanish, bro. And you're trying to give him money. It's like they don't got change, dude.
I know. I'm waiting for them to come out with the cube.
Yeah.
Just Venmo me this money. But
Yeah,
no,
QR code.
They all get a bunch of cash, and then the ones that are really poodle are the ones that line up and have cans of soda. They're like, "Hey man, it's only $1 here, but it's $5 inside." And then you go inside there and you walk on piss. You stand in line for porta potties. You get into fights with people. It just, dude, Fiesta sucks, man. Fiesta sucks, and Taste of the North Side is not Fiesta. It's an event that happens to go on in April. Now, I will be at some place this weekend. I'm taking my son. My son has special needs. He has Down syndrome. I love Justin so much. We're going to go to the Mardi Gras parade, the Sesame Street Mardi Gras parade, which is taking place at SeaWorld.
Nice.
And it's now through the end of February, I believe, on Saturday and Sunday, because SeaWorld's only open Saturdays and Sundays. They have it to end the day at 4:30 p.m. All the Sesame Street characters in Mardi Gras attire and all that stuff. So I'm going to go get beads and whatnot. Going to go to Party City.
You're going to show them your tits?
Dude, my future ex-wife, she and I used to go to New Orleans all the time.
Oh my God.
And I remember one time we were drunk at this one bar on Bourbon Street. And I was there with her best friend, her best friend's husband, and her other best friend's boyfriend. And we're just going over there, and you buy these beads and you throw them at people and they flash you and whatnot. And my future ex-wife is screaming at people, "Show my husband your tits. Show him your tits." And I was just like, holy heck, that was amazing. I told that story on San Antonio Sports Star a while back. So it's a nice repeat over there. Chris Gonzalez reached out to us on our YouTube stream saying, "What do you think of Church Festival? When I was a kid, we would hit the Southside Festival." Yeah, interesting point. There are some Fiesta events that are not necessarily officially Fiesta events, or if they are, they're not as known. Central Catholic has a good event that I've been at. I think Central Catholic, one time I went one year where it was all you can drink, but you had to pay like a high amount to get in. It was like $50 or $60. You can get X number of beers. I don't know if it was all you can drink, but it was the proportion to the dollar amount being spent was actually pretty good. Rudy Campos reaches out and says, "My house was on Bradford across from Holy Rosary. I paid my property taxes, charging up for parking on my 5x5 lawn."
Hey, this was the best comment so far, that thread that they got going with you where you hated the Cowboy Breakfast. Credit to Chris Leja. He says, "I heard Mike telling people he's more handsome than Rosie O'Donnell." My God, bro.
Jonathan C. reaches out and says, "Selling chicken on a stick in parking spaces. That's how it goes, baby, in San Antonio." Dude, chicken on a stick is $12, and it's a pain in the ass, dude. It's basically a $1 chicken that you can get at HEB with one jalapeno.
Tyson chicken patty, bro.
It's a Tyson chicken patty.
On a stick with the jalapeno.
Yeah. And you have to stand in line for 30 minutes to get it, in the heat, sweating. No. Now, at least Cowboy Breakfast is free food. But, I mean, who wakes up in the morning and goes, "You know what I'm going to do at 5 in the morning? I'm going to put on some cowboy boots, and I'm going to drive to the east side. I'm going to go to where the Spurs play." No, the Spurs aren't playing. Rock and Brews ain't open. But I'm going to listen to some shitty-ass country music and eat free tacos and waste gas getting there. Now, I know all those people can reach out and say Fiesta and the rodeo and all that's is for the purposes of scholarships and things. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
But just from a consumer standpoint, this is not me being old, by the way. I have felt this way since I was 25 years old. I can't stand Fiesta. I'll go to one event a year because I'm kind of forced to. Dude, going to the carnival. They've been playing the same 7 songs at Tilt-A-Whirl for about 45 years. It's the same Def Leppard song. It's the same Bon Jovi song. The same Guns N' Roses song. It's the same music. And it's the same Carney from 1989 that's there right now in 2024.
Man,
he hasn't aged.
You're on one today, dude. You're just hating everything San Antonio. You got to turn in your Pudo card, bro. Turn in your Mexican card already, bro. It's been revoked. Revoked. You know what? It's just so funny. Like, we tell you, you do this to yourself, bro. You do this to yourself. You're just feeding the people.
It started with one comment. Man. It started with one comment. Just say that I didn't like Cowboy Breakfast. Like I'm
no.
Okay.
You said I don't like Fiesta. Now you said sucks. I don't like the rodeo. It's like,
no, I'm okay with the rodeo. I like the rodeo, but I can only go to the rodeo once.
What about the
Mutton busting's fun?
What about the river parade?
You know, out of all the parades, what's the one that's at night? Is that the Flambeau?
Yeah,
that one's okay. That one's okay, but you got to make a night of it. It's got to be more than just the parade. You got to get dinner downtown someplace and not chicken on a stick.
What about the Cowboy Cook-Off? I like that. That's like the barbecue cook-off that they have, man. It's a good event.
And so barbecue cook-off and festival is today. They also have it again on the 27th. I'm looking at the events calendar for the San Antonio Rodeo. You've got the Western Heritage Weekend beginning on February 3rd. Looks like things get going on February 8th, man. Dude, take me to mutton busting. Dude, I love watching those kids.
Dude, there is no way you're gonna get on a little sheep, dude.
Well, I'm not gonna do it.
Maybe you can do mutton busting like on a bull or something.
Yeah.
No, I would pay for that.
Now, my question is the San Antonio Rodeo, like the actual events, like the bull race, the bull riding, and all that stuff. I like it. It's fun. I dated a girl years ago who was a vegetarian. God. And she was the girl that I dated before my wife, and we dated for about 6 months or so. And her being a vegetarian was kind of like a sticking point here because I felt bad eating steak around her, right? But we went to the rodeo because she was from out of state. She was from the north. She's living in Texas. She wanted to go to the rodeo. And because of her, being vegetarian and her beliefs about animals and whatnot, she hated watching the bull riding. Dude, she was cheering for the bulls to like maul the riders.
Jeez.
Every time a rider got injured, she would stand up and scream, "That's what you fucking get. That's what you fucking get." I'm like, dude, settle down, man. But why is it that the Houston Rodeo gets so much better quality performers than the San Antonio Rodeo when it comes to the concerts? Here's the list. Old Dominion gets things going on February 8th, right? I'm sure they're popular enough. Old Dominion to me is a bad college basketball team.
Sounds like some cheap liquor, dude.
Yes.
In a plastic bottle.
The ninth we have Midland, Winona Judd on the 10th, Brad Paisley also on the 10th, Mike and the Moon Pies, the Oak Ridge Boys. They're alive?
The Oak Ridge Boys?
Are they the
dude, you got me, dude. I don't listen to country, man.
Or was it Alabama that sang Elvira? Anyway, then we have the Neil McCoy, Robert Earl Keen, Gary Allen. Well, now we're getting to a bigger name there. Smith and the Saints, Cheap Trick, Brooks and Dunn. Okay, there's a big name right there.
Brooks and Dunn, I'll get down with. Dude.
Randy Rogers Band sounds like a good time, man. They're always
no, they're good.
They're always over here at Flores and Helotes. And then you have Noche del Vaquero, John Michael Montgomery. Okay, singing 2 ballads that All for One also sang, and get the hell out, man. I don't know any other song. Styx, really? Chris Young, Charlie, Big Rich, Gretchen Wilson, William Beckham. Wow, it wraps up on Saturday, February 24th with Clint Black.
That's not bad, dude.
Okay, so you see that lineup there, right? You see that lineup there. I named the names. The Houston Rodeo starts off with Blake Shelton, right? 50 Cent.
Oh man, I don't know about no 50 Cent though, dude.
Let's see here. Luke Bryan is performing over there. Lainey Wilson. Oh my God, Lainey Wilson. If you like BB Rex's booty, Lainey Wilson.
Oh, look at this. There's you got a comment. Jonathan C says because Houston seats 70K in NRG, which is more tickets being sold and more money.
They've got
Spend
Nickelback on my
tickets.
birthday. Nickelback on my birthday, March 13.
Oh, bro, nobody
Zach
likes
Brown.
Nickelback, man. Come on.
The Jonas Brothers are performing at the Houston Rodeo. Brad Paisley, Eric Church. I'm just saying, man. You know, if you want to go watch the races or go watch the competitions, San Antonio Rodeo is where it's at. But if you want to go watch concerts, I'd rather go watch 50 Cent in Houston than watch Styx here in San Antonio.
Hey, man, even that one place, what was it called? That Sky Bar, was it Smoke Sky Bar?
Yeah.
That barbecue place. They had 50 Cent over there.
Yeah, but wasn't he promoting something there? Smoke is nice. They have that little that nightclub out downstairs.
Yeah.
It's not bad, dude. I've had some good times over there. Hey, before we get going into the show, because allegedly this is a sports talk show, but we haven't done that yet. Yesterday I was refereeing basketball. It was so funny, dude. The scores table couldn't hear what I was saying because it was so loud and echoed in that gym. And when you make a call, you say red or white, right? Because you say according to the jersey colors, and they couldn't hear me. So I said, do I need to say this in Spanish? So I started saying the colors in Spanish, right? Just so they would better understand me. And when I called timeout, or when the coaches called timeout, they were like, I said, timeout, team red. And they said, say it in Spanish. I didn't know how to say timeout in Spanish.
Do it, dude.
So I was
Rojo.
like, timeout. Tiempo afuera. Like, that's time outside, and it's close enough. But by the way, that's actually how you say it.
Tiempo afuera.
Well, not with the ah.
Okay.
It's like tiempo afuera is time out in Spanish.
Okay.
I was joking.
Yeah.
And I actually got it, or I was pretty damn close. Dude, there was this one guy that was out there that was playing. He was about a foot shorter than everybody out there. He tied up the big guy for a jump ball. The guy picked the ball up. The guy was dangling from the ground. It was the funniest thing. Everyone started laughing. It was great, man.
Hey, we got a question here, Joe Gonzalez. Hey, what section will you all be at tonight at the game? We
will be sitting right next to Sohan, and right next to Blake Wesley, right next to Zach Collins.
You got any messages for Zach Collins? We'll be sure to pass them on, but we'll be in section 14. We're like 5 rows from the court, bro.
Section 14, just like Josh Giddey likes them.
Yeah, and I got them right here too. So the passes for you guys, we got something called these courtside club passes. I got 4 of these. So apparently they come with some little perks, man.
Now, how are we dressing?
I'm just dressing the way I am now. Probably just wear a black polo and put on my Spurs hat, and I'm out. I'm ready.
Do I wear my Spurs hoodie, or do I wear my Wemby jersey?
I would wear the Wemby jersey. We're gonna be close. Maybe he'll give you a nod or something. Dude.
I'll wear nice jeans. You know, nice jeans.
Yeah,
make it happen. I'm gonna be drunk by 9, dude. I mean, these are really, really good tickets. I mean,
yeah.
Don't look at me and Baez to put out. I mean, these are really good seats. How do we get these seats?
Oh, I got connections.
You got connections?
Got connections, bro.
Very nice. Very nice. Do you know who needs connections? Victor Wembanyama, man. He needs connections if he wants to make the NBA All-Star team, because yesterday the starters were named for both the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. And of course, Wemby was not named to the starting lineup. Okay. So the way that they do it is it's the coach's vote, it's the fan vote, it's the player's vote, right? It's a combination of the 3. And when the starters were named, Wemby was not named to it. The question becomes now, who are the reserves going to be? And if there are any replacements, who are the replacements going to be? So in the East, you have Giannis Antetokounmpo, along with Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, and Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton, the guy that was drafted 1 spot after Devin Vassell a handful of years ago. In the West, we've got Nikola Jokic, Kevin Durant, Luka Doncic, SGA, and LeBron James. LeBron James making it for his 20th straight All-Star appearance. The question becomes, though, there are some snubs out there, because Dame Lillard should not have been the starter. Should have been Jalen Brunson. But the question becomes, who should the reserves be? And that's the problem that we're seeing right now, is because if you take a look at the TNT talking heads, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Ernie Johnson, for when it comes to the Western Conference, none of them have Wemby there. They all have Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Paul George. 3 of them have Devin Booker. 3 of them have Domantas Sabonis, and 2 have De'Aaron Fox. So I think this is the prevailing thing. We talked with this with Fernandez yesterday on this podcast. We said there was about 11 or 12 players that have it locked up in the NBA All-Star Western Conference. They only take 12 people. So we need to have 1 or 2 of these guys back out. Kawhi Leonard might back out, right? He's always hurt.
Yeah.
So you might have 1 or 2. Then the story becomes, can Wemby get in as a replacement? Because he ain't coming out as a reserve. What are your thoughts, Joe? At all? Do you think he has any chance at all? If you had to give a percentage as to whether or not he's going to be an all-star this year, right now, I'm going to put it at 25%.
I think he might still ink his way in there, but it's going to be a tough sell. Top 5 NBA, top 5 in all-star fan voting in France was Giannis. This is weird. This is a one that I got from our friend over here, Noah Magaro George, on Twitter.
Yeah.
He was saying the top 5 all NBA All-Star fan voting, how it was tallied over in France, was number 1, you have Giannis, right? Antetokounmpo. 2 was Joel Embiid. 3 is Jason Tatum. 4 was Victor Wembanyama. And to round out the top 5, Luka Doncic.
And the Spurs didn't promote this.
They didn't promote it at all, dude. It's like fans know that they can go vote Victor Wembanyama into the NBA All-Star game, but there was nothing on social media about it coming from the Spurs.
And I don't think anybody in local media really has the balls to really inquire. They might ask, but won't dig deep and be a dick about it.
You know what? The end of the world is upon us, dude. The apocalypse, because Fernandez agreed with you once again, bro. We're talking about Fernandez when you said the Cowboy Breakfast. No thanks. There's literally a taqueria at every corner in SA. Fernandez responded, "Stop making me agree with you, bro." Hashtag apocalypse.
I have yet to vote, by the way, on my poll on Twitter at MJ Acquired Taste. Says, fellas, choose your fighter. Who's the number 1 overall seed for hotness?
Come on,
Paige Sporonic or Sydney Sweeney? It is close. 44 votes in the first 20 minutes or so of this, or first half hour or so. It is getting crazy when it comes to this.
Jeez,
this is going to go down to the wire, man. This is going to go down to the wire. This might be the best poll question that we've had in a while. But going back to Victor Wembanyama, I mean, this is a guy that in the last 4 weeks has been playing like an all-star, averaging 24 and 11 with 3 or 4 blocks this month, right? He has now inserted himself into the conversation of being the overwhelming favorite for Rookie of the Year. The sportsbook said he was the favorite when the season started. Chet Holmgren became the favorite after winning Rookie of the Month in November and December. But we have seen the progression of Victor Wembanyama, and we've seen Chet Holmgren kind of plateau. This is Wemby's award to win. So if either of the two are going to be named to the All-Star team, it's going to be Victor Wembanyama. But you have a lot of players there, whether it be Paul George, Alperen Şengün, some players out there like Brandon Ingram, who are just as deserving as Wemby. But Wemby does things differently. Wemby is a defensive guy when it comes to all the blocks that he has and all that. I think the NBA wants him in there, but they need about 2 or 3 guys to back out in order for that to happen.
It might happen. It could. I mean, maybe somebody wants to sit out due to an injury or due to rest, something else that they got going on. Not everybody wants, even if you vote a player into the NBA All-Star game, not every player that gets voted into the All-Star game actually wants to play.
It's kind of like the Pro Bowl in the NFL when it comes to that.
They don't want to risk injury. Maybe they already got something else going on and they don't want to disclose that. So they're going to I don't want to go. I'm going to bow out.
Or they've done it 10 or 15 times and just don't want to go anymore.
Or maybe they got, they got a vacation set up with Sydney Sweeney on an island somewhere. Would you rather be with her or at the All-Star game? Come on, dude.
Dude, Sydney Sweeney, for 100% of things in the world. NBA TV tonight, Spurs taking on the Blazers. Blazers coming in with a 13-31 record. Spurs have beaten them one time this year. Spurs coming in at 8-36, only a 3-17 record at home. It is a late tip-off because it is nationally televised on NBA TV. 8:30 is when it starts, so tip-off probably around 8:37, 8:40 or so. Spurs are favored tonight by 3.5 points. Over-under of 229. Take the over because the Spurs give up 120 every game.
Hey, I wonder if Trey Jones is going to play. I mean, if Trey Jones plays, I mean, I would even push this further into the Spurs' favor. But if they sit him out again, it could be an interesting game, a really close game.
Mm-hmm.
Spurs might be able to win. I hope it goes into overtime. I want an overtime game when I'm already drunk off my ass and I don't know what the hell's going on, just so I can yell at Zach Collins.
Dude, Zach Collins has played like trash. Now, I'm taking a look at the last 8 games that Wemby has played. Tell me this is not an all-star. Last 8 games, averaging 25 points, 10 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 3.1 blocks, half a steal in only 25 minutes average. He's doing very well. The last time he took on the Blazers, keep in mind, he had 30 points and 6 assists. So the Spurs, again, in action tonight, 8:30. Frost Bank Center favored by 3.5 points. I think the Spurs are going to win this game. I really do. It's one of the few because they need to get some of these wins before the rodeo road trip, man. They're going to be gone for like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
You got to get some wins before the rodeo road trip. 25% chance. That's what I'm saying when it comes to it all. Now, let's talk about the NFL playoffs because this weekend, it's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. We're going to find out who's going to be in the Super Bowl. We talked about the storylines. We have the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs can honestly be a dynasty if they win the Super Bowl because this would be 3 out of 5 years. This is 6 years in a row that they've gone out and made the AFC Championship game. Patrick Mahomes with a victory in the Super Bowl would solidify himself as a top 3, top 4 quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
The Ravens, Lamar Jackson, bet on himself. He was his own agent this offseason, getting himself that $56 million a year contract. He was his own agent. People thought he was stupid about it. He did it. He got it on his own. He has won the MVP award before, but this is also a guy that hasn't had a lot of success in the playoffs. He can get over the hump.
Okay.
Then you also have the Harbaugh effect of John Harbaugh winning the Super Bowl just 1 month after Jim Harbaugh won the national championship. Jim Harbaugh now going to be the head coach of the LA Chargers. On the NFC side, you have the Detroit Lions, who have been inept for decades, making their first playoff run in 3 decades. That's a great story. It's a great story because you have Jared Goff. Jared Goff taking a second team to the NFC Championship game. I love the storylines there. Laporta, the rookie tight end. You have a rookie running back. You have a very inexperienced head coach who is ballsy. This is a guy, we saw this against the Cowboys. He'll go for 2. He'll go for it on 4th down. He and I don't even think that he's doing the analytics. I just think he just has the balls to do this. I love watching that team play. I think they're just as good as the Niners. Then you have the Niners, Brock Purdy trying to shut people up. All these people coming out and saying, look at all these quarterbacks that even Jared Goff is better than Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy can shut these people up. You have Christian McCaffrey going for a ring. Deebo Samuel going for a ring. You have the fact that the Niners haven't won a Super Bowl since the Cowboys era of the 90s and the mid-90s. Now, they've been to the Super Bowl since. They've been to NFC Championship games since. But just like the Cowboys, it's been nearly 3 decades of not winning a ring. They get that 6th one. They get in that area with the Steelers and the Patriots for the most of all time. A lot of storylines. If I had to choose right now, and mind you, didn't even mention Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But that's a big storyline as well. Also a storyline of Travis Kelce. If Travis Kelce wins a Super Bowl, wouldn't it be like a good thing for him to just walk away from the game? Walk away a champion? What bigger thing can he accomplish? But on the field, my head is telling me that the Ravens are going to win this game. That it is tough to win over there, that defense is so solid. You saw that CJ Stroud couldn't do anything against that defense. And I know there's a big difference between CJ Stroud and Patrick Mahomes, but that defense has been so difficult to score against this year. They're in stride. The Ravens are playing at home. The Chiefs have not had to go to a road game for an AFC Championship game before in the Mahomes era. My head is telling me Ravens. My heart is telling me that's
Chiefs.
Patrick motherfucking Mahomes over there.
But you know what the weird thing is that the Ravens are kind of like the Cowboys in a way.
They choke.
They choke in the biggest freaking games, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? The Chiefs, for everything that's said bad about them this season, oh, their defense isn't good. They're very beatable. Look at where these motherfuckers are at, bro. The NFL Conference Championship.
They have no receivers, right?
They got nobody to throw to, but they find a way to win. I'm telling you, they're like that cockroach, dude, on the west side.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many times you stomp on it, spray raid on it, hit it with the hat, the broom, it still gets back up and flies.
And it might not even be Mahomes. They have a running back, Isaiah Pacheco. And it's so funny if you watch the New Heights podcast with Travis and Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
They were joking about Isaiah Pacheco, about how violent of a runner he is. They said that he runs violently.
He wants to take your soul.
Yeah. that he runs wanting to hit you. You know, he's like, oh, you're going to come after me? I'll hit you first.
That's the mindset you should have. You want to roll people over, dude. You want to step on them.
Now, he's not somebody that's going to be like Christian McCaffrey, who, you know, glides his way through and will get 2,000 all-purpose yards. He's not that guy. Christian McCaffrey is so special, though. But going back to the AFC, though, do the Ravens have enough weapons?
That's the thing. It's going to be the battle. I think it comes down to the battle of the quarterbacks and them finding ways to win the game. You know, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, the Ravens, as good as they are on defense, we've seen what happens with Mahomes. How many times has he just kind of like, he's squirrely, dude. Like
he is.
He winds up just, hey, they got him. They put hands on him. They're going to get him for a sack. He like slips away somehow, some way. He continues to keep the play alive. Somehow at the last second finds a guy open, good enough for a first down.
Well,
you know,
you're right. He's squirrely. He's not fast, but he's not slow. He just kind of just finds his way, and he finds the first down marker and moves.
He keeps the play alive, and it's like 3rd and 5, you know, and they come with an all-out blitz. They got hands on the brother. He just like somehow wiggles his way out, keeps the play alive, and just does something like not even sexy at all. Just I'm just gonna dump it out here for 4 or 5 yards, first down.
Now the weapons that Lamar Jackson has, Zay Flowers, who's a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah,
I mean 858 yards this year. He's a rookie. Rashad Bateman, I mean, okay. I mean 367 yards this year. Isaiah likely a tight end because we've had injuries to their stud tight end. Nelson Aguilar, Justice Hill, Odell Beckham Jr. He doesn't have the weapons either.
Yeah.
This is going to be an ugly game.
I think the Chiefs find a way to win. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I just think the Chiefs will find a way to win at the end.
Now, the weather on Sunday in Baltimore is going to be rainy and in the 40s.
That's right up the Chiefs' alley too.
Because
both teams play outside. They both play outside.
Right.
You know, so they're used to the elements. But I just think the Chiefs find a way to win. There's something to be said about having Super Bowl experience.
I'm looking at the weather forecast right now. It says rain early, then cloudy, showers again in the afternoon, high of 48, wind at 15 miles an hour, chance of rain 80%, around 1/4 inch of rain expected in the afternoon.
Let's put it like this, Mike. The NFL wants Taylor at these games, right?
They even have the referee that they have that referee who does so well for the road teams. By the way, I was taking a look right now at some of the comments. Hey, we have comments coming in from the Netherlands.
And we had one that was from Chihuahua, Mexico. I got to go look for it. But they were saying greetings from Chihuahua, Mexico.
Very nice. González Rivera.
Es bien fresa el Mike. Saludos from Chihuahua, Mexico.
Very, very, very cool. Mario Cavazos is coming out and saying he's taking his wife to the Brooks and Dunn concert. I got to meet Kix Brooks at the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, look at
Radio
this.
Row.
Houston, Tim Gonzalez. Houston got more game than us. Laugh out loud. Oh, they were making fun of me because I was saying,
Yeah, Jesus Rivera, Nickelback is iconic. Don't hate, Joe.
bro, you're not going to be listening, banging your head out to Nickelback, man. I promise you. That's not even rock music. That's like pop rock. Nickelback, come on, bro.
I like him.
Oh, God.
I don't
man.
love him, but, you know, there's like 2 or 3 songs that I'm okay with. There's 2 or 3 songs that I'll fuck with when it comes
What's
to Nickelback.
that damn song that they played the shit out of on the radio? I fucking hate it.
Rockstar?
Rockstar. Oh, God, man. And you know what? Like the guy, the lead singer from Nickelback, he was married to Avril Lavigne.
Avril
at one
Lavigne,
time.
yeah.
Hey, she's hot, bro.
You know what? Low key, goth hot or punk hot. I mean, come on, listen to these songs, man. This is how you remind me of what
bro.
I really am.
Nickelback or Three Doors Down? Pick your fighter, bro.
Okay, first of all, Three Doors Down is a very good band.
That's what I'm saying. Nickelback is
they're a very
rock,
good
bro.
band. But Nickelback performed at Trump's inauguration because they couldn't find a performer. They asked like 50 different artists and they all said no. Three Doors Down went. Their career has gone to shit ever since then. And I believe it's because of that. They got canceled.
Yeah.
They got canceled. Not saying it's a good right or wrong thing, but it happened. What about the song by Nickelback? The Look at This Photograph.
Oh, fuck.
Come on, man. The song Saving Me is pretty good.
You know what's worse, dude? This is the one that you really should stack up against. Creed or Nickelback? They're pretty evenly matched, dude.
Okay, first of all, the best Nickelback song is Figured You Out.
Oh, God.
I like your pants around your feet. Dun, 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 dun. And I like that dirt that's on your knees.
Chris Gonzalez, hey, Nickelback had that Spider-Man song from back in the day. They did, bro. That they did.
Oh, the hero to save me or
Hero
whatever.
to save me, yeah. You know, you came out of the theater listening to that shit. Wanted to go ahead and spin your little web.
Something about the wings of an eagle or something
God,
like that. No, Figured You Out, dude. Okay, the song by Nickelback, Figured You Out. That's a Nesio song, though, man. That's a dirty song.
Never been a fan of Nickelback, bro.
I'm not saying that I'm going to be
Is that
excited.
your karaoke? You're gonna go and sing up on the stage and sing that in a karaoke.
Oh, dude, Rockstar
Karaoke
or
night.
Figured You Out would be that song.
Karaoke night over here at the Stout House.
We gonna do that tonight? I mean, dude,
Oh man, you'll be too drunk to sing, dude.
are we gonna pregame?
I don't know. You want
Or we have to class it up because we're on section 14.
Shit, I don't give a shit. I'll go fucking smashed. I don't give a damn. I don't care, bro. I don't like whatever you want. Maybe we should go to the Stout House and have us a little pour before we go.
On me, baby. You're bringing the tickets.
Man. Let's go.
I'm
bro.
your bitch tonight.
Let's go.
That's for sure. All right, so NFC AFC Championship game. I'm picking the. I'll say that the Chiefs pull it out 27-24 in a very dramatic game. NFC Championship game, dude. I'm telling you, the Lions are going to win. The Lions are going to win. They're going to go out there, and I don't think it's going to be. I say 31-24.
Lions over 49ers.
Yeah.
I think the 49ers are going to beat the Lions.
Because
Dude.
Shanahan going to Shanahan.
Oh, man. Come on, bro.
Dude, Shanahan going to Shanahan.
I need to get my boy Brandon Medina in here, man. Because me and him make some wild bets. And, I'm a gambler, so I'll go with outrageous stuff. And, it's so outrageous. Like, if you put $50, you win, $300.
Yeah.
And Brandon's mom is a gambler, bro. Sometimes Brandon's like, it doesn't matter how outrageous my bets are. He's like, man, I had my mom texted me. She's like, hey, put down $20 on Joe's bet.
She's hardcore, dude. I met her for the first
the
time.
Stout House.
The
Matt Pecker.
Matt Pecker Brewery.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
He gets his gambling from his mama, dude. His mama's funny, dude.
Yeah, because it didn't seem like Big Poppy's Poppy wanted to bet.
No, he gets it from his mom, dude.
Let's get that animation going for the entertainment.
All right.
And while we do sports, pop culture, nostalgia over here, and if you can get my screen going, because I'm showing TMZ.com with a headline that says Kurt Cobain's purported autopsy leaks details about suicide death. And I'm gonna let you know, Joe, I read the entire thing.
Did you?
I don't know if it's real or not, but apparently there's a private investigator who's been looking into Kurt Cobain's suicide for 30 years. Okay, it's been almost 30 years. He has been dead longer than what he was alive. It's been nearly 30 years. He died at the age of 27. And it's an 8-page document. This particular investigator put it on his website, and he also tweeted links out to it and said, hey, here's what it is. This is the legit thing. Now, King County, which is where Seattle is, has not confirmed or denied this. They have basically come out and said that, they haven't said anything. But this investigator is saying that there is some interesting things to look into when it comes to this guy's suicide. A lot of fans wanted this investigated because they were saying there's no way Kurt Cobain could have killed himself. But this investigator says, look, here's the autopsy report. The autopsy report says this. Now, Kurt Cobain was found dead in his Seattle area home back in 1994, I believe. And so it's going to be the 30-year anniversary this year. And what was interesting about the documents that are there is they said that he died by a gunshot wound to his mouth.
Oh, man.
That he basically had a long-ass shotgun, used his left hand, pulled the trigger, and that his finger was still on the trigger when it was found. His finger and his thumb were still around the trigger. Goes on to say that he had stuff in his body. He had morphine.
Man.
He had codeine. And 3 other types of drugs in there, and that he had other things going on in his urine as well. So he may have been drugged up at the time.
So he was going through some things, man.
Yeah. Again, the private investigator is named Tom Grant. He put the PDF out on his Twitter account and on his website, saying that this is legit. It goes on to say that he was well dressed when he killed himself. That he had his shoes on, his Converse on, that they were tied correctly. He had jeans on. It was buckled up. He had a T-shirt on. But one of the things that he was wearing was a bracelet. And the bracelet was those things that they give you at hospitals when you are at the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
And it was him at rehab. So he still had his rehab bracelet on, and he had left the rehab a week prior to his suicide.
And you know what? I remember watching a documentary or something like that with Courtney Love Smith, his now,
yes.
his widowed wife now. And she was saying that she had been trying to get a hold of him, and she wasn't able to get a hold of him for that whole week, I believe, when up to the point to where they found him deceased, where he committed suicide. They had been talking off and on, she was checking on him, rehab and whatnot. But then when he just left, I mean, no one could really get a hold of him. They didn't know really where he was at. They were looking for him. And unfortunately, they were just never able to get to him,
right?
To help him out or to talk with him, because maybe that could have changed the tide a little bit for him. But I mean, he was just in a bad headspace, man.
And that's the thing about troubled artists, man. You talk about all those musicians who have died at the age of 27. And there's a long list. It's called the 27 Club. And it's Kurt Cobain, Jim Morrison of The Doors, Amy Winehouse, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix. And the list goes on and on and on about the 27 Club. And it's sometimes the greatest music is being developed by some of the minds that are troubled.
Yeah.
One of my favorite musicians of all time, Scott Weiland, Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah. Saw
them in concert 5 times. If you had told me in 1995, asked me the question, how is he going to die? I would have said heroin overdose. If you had asked me in 2000, heroin overdose.
Yeah.
2005, heroin overdose. 2010, 15, heroin overdose. And what did he die of?
Heroin
overdose. Yeah. You already know the end of the story before it actually happens. And some of these musicians like Jim Morrison and all these guys, the music is so wonderful and so great because they're not in their right mind.
Well, a lot of
art is different. The mind is different.
They're
speaking they can taste color.
Yeah. It's
You
because
know?
of all the drugs, man.
Hate to say it that way, but it brings something out of them that's a little bit different left of center when it comes to things. But again, if you want to see the autopsy report, go on to TMZ. TMZ refused to report on what it said. You actually have to read it for yourself. I think that TMZ, Guardian, and all of these different publications don't want to actually report on it as fact because it hasn't been authenticated from King County Sheriff's Office or from the King County itself.
Yeah.
So they're just saying, hey, if you want to read it, here's what it says. But it looked very legit, man. And it named names. There were no redactions on it. There was no scribbled out lines. It was like the whole thing. And maybe it was leaked to him. Maybe it was. So it is January 26th, and this is a tragic day in NBA history. Even though he was no longer in the NBA at the time. But 4 years ago today, we learned of the passing of Kobe Bryant. And when they talk about like, you'll always remember where you were when certain things happen. Like I remember when I was in third grade, Challenger explosion. I was in third grade.
Yeah.
I remember seeing teachers crying in the classroom and they telling us what happened, right? I remember 9/11. 9/11, my first wife called me and said, Michael, there was an attack at the World Trade Center. I studied terrorism in college. I studied Al-Qaeda in college.
Yeah.
I said, oh, they've done that before. And I remember going back to sleep and then waking up going, oh my God. It wasn't like a car bomb in the garage like before. It was a plane in there. So I remember being at my apartment and then going to work because I was a news reporter at KBB and doing a story that night of a local angle.
Yeah.
Other things that have happened, you remember certain things that happened.
Selena
dying. Okay, so I wasn't the biggest Selena fan back then. I'm more of a fan now than I was back then.
Yeah.
But I remember being at Holmes High School, and I remember walking through the school and seeing my good friend's little sister, who was also at that school, crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on? They're like, Selena died. I was like, wow. So I remember that. But I also remember being at home, freaking out, watching TV. I think it was like a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
That Kobe Bryant was dead.
That was a weird one for me too, because I remember it was kind of like, I guess, late morning when you started hearing, like rumors, things coming through, and you're like, is it really true? Because you hear a lot of stuff on social media that's not true.
Right.
So I started hearing things. And the one thing that really solidified it for me is that one of my family members is in the police force. And he sent me a direct message, a DM. And I guess he was working the area. And he was like, it's true.
Wow.
And I was like, what? He's like, can't say a lot, but it's true.
And the aftermath of it all. So there's so many different angles of this. When Kobe passed, Chris Gonzalez reached out to us on our YouTube stream saying Oklahoma City bombing was also another big one. That is very, very, very true. But you look at Kobe Bryant, if you go at it from the standpoint of who he was as a man, well, I mean, he's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. The guy was a killer on the court.
Yeah.
This was a player that was drafted in the teens, for crying out loud. Didn't want to play for Charlotte.
Yeah.
Got traded to the Lakers, won titles with Shaq, won titles with Paul Gasol. I never picture Kobe Bryant as a top 10 player of all time. He's a top 10 competitor of all time, but he's not a top 10 player of all time. He's top 20, probably top 12, top 15, most definitely. I never considered him to be top 10. But that's not to slight him. It's because I believe players like Larry Bird were better, okay, or just as good.
Yeah, Magic Johnson.
Magic.
Yeah.
But what I remember is a couple of things. I remember how great he was, both wearing the jersey 8 and 24, how acrobatic he was. Dude, some of the things that he did representing Team USA, when he plowed through Paul Gasol that one game to start the game, just to like get in his head. Kobe Bryant talking trash in Spanish to players.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, one thing I will say this about Kobe Bryant, I don't remember him ever disrespecting the Spurs. I remember an interview when they asked him who were the best shooting guards that he's ever played against. He said number one was Dwayne Wade. And I get that Dwayne Wade is a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. But who did he have at number two? He had Manu.
Manu, yeah. Manu was another competitor, a person that he loved to go up against, because Manu was just a special player.
Yeah, and the background of Italy, because Kobe Bryant was raised in Europe.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. He was an American raised in Europe, came back. And who did he follow? He followed Italian players.
Yeah.
And he followed players that in Euro leagues, and he knew of Manu. So and Manu's competitive fire and how they would go back and forth against each other, he didn't consider Manu to be a sixth man. He considered Manu to be an all-star, and said very, very good things. Then on the negative side of things, you have the fact that he had that incident in Colorado.
Yeah.
And that something happened.
Yeah.
We'll never know the true extent because that's what NDAs are for. But something happened. He wouldn't have gotten that $5 million ring for Vanessa Bryant. But then you see the evolution of him becoming more of a mature adult man, especially towards the end of his career. And he became a girl dad. I think that's what leveled him off was the fact that he started having kids with Vanessa Bryant. Vanessa Bryant, Mexicana from California.
Yeah.
Very beautiful woman. But then you see him become a dad, and then he changed. Being a father will change you. And then he died with one of his daughters there, with Gigi.
Gigi, yeah.
I liked the trajectory of where he was going in life at 41 when he passed away. And he was going into the entertainment field, was nominated for an Academy Award.
He actually
won it
for a short animated film.
Yeah. And he was so involved in so many different things. And what I liked about, and this is like one thing that you can take from him, from Kobe Bryant, and this is me as a fan of just people and life in general. Kobe Bryant studied success stories to see what he could get out of them. And it had nothing to do with sports. I think what a lot of people do is that they look for people who are successful in their own field and try to study them, to try to emulate them. And Kobe would take it to a different level. He goes, yeah, I'll do that, but I'm also going to study musicians, actors. I want to go ask Tom Cruise, how does he get up for every movie? I want to go ask Taylor Swift, which he did in real life. Ask the question, how do you make hit albums year after year after year after year? How do you get yourself going for that? I want to ask this business leader. I want to ask this CEO. I want to ask this teacher of the year. I want to ask this firefighter of the year. What gets you going? And that's what I get from Kobe Bryant. Kobe didn't talk shit about the Spurs. He respected Tim. He respected Tony. Respected Manu. Respected Pop. That was the greatest thing that could ever have gone against Tim Duncan. Because if you're going to consider Kobe Bryant one of the all-time greats, you have to consider Tim that as well, because Tim was winning his rings when Kobe was in his prime. But Kobe's an iconic guy. He played in LA. He was flashier. He wasn't Mr. Fundamentals. He was Mr. Mamba. He was, Mamba mentality. And as people reached out, Tim Gonzalez reaches out to us on our YouTube stream saying, I couldn't believe it when Kobe died, calls him an old school player. That's it, man. Jonathan C. says, it was a Sunday late morning, I believe. I looked up and everyone, I remember getting the information as a notification from TMZ. I looked up and everyone within the next 10 minutes were gasping. It was TMZ that got it. And speaking of TMZ, think about what Vanessa Bryant and the family had to go through, because the police department was sharing photos of what was going on with bodies, body photographs of Kobe and Gigi, and the police department in the trial going on and saying, well, they all got erased. They're somewhere. Someone's got them still.
Oh yeah.
And they have to live with the fact that that's there. You know, it's funny when you look at gruesome photos like that. The day that the music died, which was Buddy Holly, Big Bopper, and Richie Valens dying, do you know those photos of their bodies online? You could Google it. Like, it's just public record of here are the bodies strewn across a field. There's a fence right there. It's weird. And there's like a little arrows that go, here's Buddy Holly, here's Richie Valens. It's creepy what you could find on the internet. And it's kind of true.
Damn.
It's very true. Very, very true. Kobe Bryant, one of the all-time greats, passed away 4 years ago today at just 41 years old. Let's lighten things up as we go into the weekend. Again, Spurs in action tonight, 8:30 p.m. on NBA TV. Let's update the poll. Now, are you able to get my screen?
I can't right now, man. I don't know what happened, but something happened.
So the guest on this week's Hot Ones is Sydney Sweeney, the actress from Euphoria, White Lotus, lots of other things. She's in a new hit movie right now. We're asking the question because March Madness is going to be upon us in about a month or so, month and a half or so. And we need to have a bracket of the hotties. And the one seed, we know who some of the one seeds are going to be. Paige Spiranac and Sydney Sweeney are going to be two of the 4 one seeds. We know that. But who's the number 1 overall seed when it comes to it all? So I have that question going on Twitter right now. You can look it up under MJ Acquired Taste. And right now, if I'm updating this, I only posted this about an hour ago, so the numbers keep changing back and forth. But right now, Paige Spiranac leads 52% to 47%. Or 52 and change to 47 and change. Dude, Sydney Sweeney's going to win this thing. I can't vote. But I was watching that Hot Ones episode, by the way. And Sydney Sweeney, dude, she can take down some hot wings, man. Do you ever watch that show, Hot Ones?
Yeah.
You know, okay, so usually on Hot Ones, for those of you who don't know, Hot Ones is an interview show that's been going on for several years. And it's this one bald journalist. He's really good at what he does, asks very good questions. But what he does on Hot Ones is he asks, his name is Sean Evans. He asks these celebrities to answer his questions, thought-provoking questions, while they're eating hot wings. He puts 10 wings in front of them. Right to left, they're supposed to eat them. And from right to left, it goes from mild to smoking hot. Like ridiculously hot. And, you know, they'll eat the first 2. They're like, oh, these are not bad. Not a lot of spice, whatever. And as each bite goes, it gets worse and worse and worse. And by the time they get to, like, you know, wing number 7, their mouth is on fire. And they're crying. They're drinking milk. They're eating rice and all that stuff. And Sydney Sweeney, I will say the 2 attractive ladies who were on that show that had no problem with the wings, Jenna Ortega and Sydney Sweeney, went through the first 8 like a champ. Not a problem. It got hot around 9 and 10, but by then she was done. She was talking shit after wing 7. She was like, I thought these were supposed to be hot.
Damn.
She was the only person I've seen on that show who actually talks shit. Sydney Sweeney, though, man. That's a girl who's not afraid of nudity in her movies or TV shows. That is for damn sure.
Hey, you know what?
She's like Ana de Armas in that way, in that respect, who probably is the other one seed.
Yeah, but Sydney Sweeney, the one thing that's cool about her is that, like, she has videos where she's working on cars, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's pretty badass.
Oh, she's a smoke show, dude. She's a smoke show. I mean, she you know, I don't know, man.
Chris Gonzalez is asking if we saw the BBLSU versus South Carolina.
Yeah, I saw the last 5 minutes of the game, and you saw Angela Reese get you know, she fouled out of the game, and at that point South Carolina took over. They won on LSU's court, which is hard to do. You know, I mean, you had the number 1 team going up against the number 9 team. Carolina Teague on Twitter yesterday posed the question, wait a minute, is women's college basketball better than the NBA? Wouldn't go that far, but I will say this though. If it is a battle between top 8, top 10 teams in college basketball for women, you have to stop and watch. If it's South Carolina, if it's UConn, if it's LSU, Tennessee, if it's a combination of those schools, Baylor, a combination of those schools, you're going to get some really, really good games.
Yeah.
In fact, they rival the men's college basketball. They rival the NBA when it comes to quality, when it comes to how fun it is to watch those games. But if it's the number 1 seed up against, I don't know, Texas State, it just doesn't do anything for me. One thing that we might have to do, by the way, we support UTSA football, but UTSA basketball is getting better by the week, man. They're not winning all their games or anything, but they're going toe-to-toe with some nationally ranked teams and going down to the wire with them. They almost beat Memphis in Memphis. They played FAU over here at the Convocation Center, almost beat them. They're also nationally ranked. After this Spurs game, I think I want to go next week or the week after to a UTSA game.
Yeah, the only thing is that the facility that they play in is like
It's a
dated,
piece of shit,
bro.
Dude, there are high school gyms in San Antonio that are better.
That's dated, bro. Like they've spent so much money on the athletic program for football. You would think that they would spread some of that love to the basketball program. They have not.
Not yet.
They have not.
No. They're giving that money to to the coach. Garrett coming in from the Netherlands saying that his crush growing up as a Croatian native is a singer who's now 6 years old named Tatjana. I'm looking her up. Tatjana Simic. All right. Garrett, we're going to judge you on this one here. I wish. Oh, my goodness. Oh, dude, she's hot now. She's hot now. Still blondie. I mean, it's not real blonde, but it is what it is. Yeah, dude. Garrett, I like your style, dude. I like your style. You must like Heather Thomas too. If you don't know who Heather Thomas is,
look her up.
We showed Heather Thomas from the 80s back in the day.
We need to bring
She's
that
amazing.
back. We need to bring that segment back. The hotties from the 90s.
Dude, I have no idea who Tatjana Simic is, but good God. Nugget. Absolute nugget. It's like if I don't know. It's like if Debbie Gibson was curvier.
Oh God.
It's like a thick Debbie Gibson from the 80s. That's what she looks like. Dude, good call. Good call. Tim Gonzalez was down and says Malika Andrews is not a number 1 seed. She's up there. I'd say Malika's at least a 4 seed.
Oh, our good friend Fernandez took a picture with her.
Yeah, she's cute. She's cute. Oh my God, 51 to 49% now. The vote: Paige Sporonic versus Sydney Sweeney. Dude, Sydney Sweeney, dude, she is educated. She's a talented actress. She can't play golf though, but she can work on a car. She can do a tune-up. She can do a tune-up. And for a lot of guys like stuff like that.
That'll do it for me.
Do you know what does it for me? A girl who can play an instrument.
Really?
If a girl can play guitar, oh, melt my heart, dude. I'll buy you a house, girl. I'll buy you a house. I'll buy you a car.
What they can sing?
Oh, God. That's why Jeff Garcia and I are very similar when it comes to Susanna Hoffs from the Bengals.
Okay.
We both consider her to be the 1 seed of the 1980s. Matt Laramore reaches out to us on our YouTube stream, says Malika Andrews is a certified 10, which also makes her a what? A nugget.
They're in the top.
Dude, I swear if Fernandez starts using that phrase, that's going to be the funniest thing ever, man. But Spurs again tonight against the Portland Trailblazers, an 8:30 tip-off, probably going off around 8:37 or so. Section 14, come find us. Come find us. Come buy us a beer. And if you don't want to buy us a beer, you can buy us a coffee. Explain how that works there, Joe.
Yeah, so they go ahead and click on this little QR code here, and it takes you to our website, which is, going to have buy me a coffee at Alamo City or Alamo City Sportscast, should I say. And all it does is help the show go. You can donate anything from $1 all the way up to, I think it's $5 and more if you want to. But it just helps to keep the show going, keeps the show on the air, and gives us access to new, toys that we can share with you guys, whether it be like the system that we just have in place where Mike can share his screen and we can kind of show what he's doing over here on our end, which is not working right now. But that's my fault, probably because I forgot to actually connect it before we started.
Yeah.
So that's not that the system broke. That's just me forgetting to connect the cable.
The amount of searches that I do during a show, you could probably hear the clackety clack of my fingers over here.
Yeah.
Spurs favored by 3.5 points tonight. I think the Spurs get the win. In fact, I think the Spurs win by 7 tonight.
Think so?
They're going to double it up, or as Sir Mix-a-Lot would say, double up.
I wonder if we get kicked out tonight because Chris Leja's on one right now, dude.
Are we going to race in the parking lot?
Bro, don't even, man. Don't even.
One end of the parking lot to the other. PD will chase us thinking that something's going down.
Jesus, dude.
One of us is getting tased tonight.
That's going to be crazy, dude. I mean, don't even race, dude. You're going to pull up lame or something, man. Like Kevin Hart, man.
Oh, that's funny. John Williams asking if I'm ready for March Madness. Not yet, man. Not yet. I am watching a lot of the games. I'll focus in on it probably around Valentine's Day or so.
Love You Hard podcast is better. We got nothing but love for Mike Taylor. It's like,
yeah,
good that you like it. We like Mike Taylor too. We listen.
I know. I listen to them all the time too. That's amazing. Which Sohan do we get tonight? Chris Gonzalez asked. Well, we're either going to get the one that's going to go for 25 points and 10 boards, or we're going to get the one that gets 6 points and 3 assists.
Wemby goes for 50.
Wemby goes for 50, dude. He's got to make that play for that reserve spot, man. He's got to make that play.
Oh man, look at who's at the Spurs shoot around this morning.
Who's that?
Hector Ledesma just shared this. He's put former Spur Boris Diaw was in attendance at the Spurs shoot around this morning.
And it's like the Superman meme, a Spider-Man meme, by the way. It's he and Sohan look at each other and just point.
Hey man, but Boris Diaw was like, he actually played pretty decent at times, like when the Spurs needed somebody and there was no one scoring, the offense got stagnant. Boris Diaw was that guy, dude. He would just step up, and he was that little, Energizer bunny coming off the bench and helping the team just even keel, keep them in striking distance, and that would help the Spurs win close games.
It's amazing how some of these role players for the Spurs did so well. Spurs do not get 2005 if it wasn't for Robert Horry.
Oh yeah, not without a doubt, bro.
Robert Horry,
big shot, Bob.
Good Lord. And then you see Danny Green's performances in certain finals, and what's it called? Speedy Claxton in 2003.
Jaren Jackson's.
Yep.
Don't
forget to subscribe to Jeff Garcia from Locked on Spurs and Ken's 5. You can follow him on Twitter, or if you call it X, at SpursG. What was it? SpursG Spurs. Jeff G Spurs Zone. There you go. There you go. You can also subscribe to him on Spotify as well. That's what I do. Or wherever you get your podcasts. Let's see here. He has Brandon Big Poppy Medina today on Locked on Spurs. That's his guest. They're asking the question, has Victor Wembanyama locked up the Rookie of the Year award? Brandon, my man. I had to get out of refereeing today to go to tonight's game, so my pleasure. I don't get to sit in section 14 very often. I'll say hi to George Strait if he's there. Very cool. Very cool. And I want to thank John Dyer for calling me San Antonio's villain. And I want to thank Jeff Garcia for retweeting that. But again, Cowboy Breakfast sucks.
Oh, God.
And I'll go to one Fiesta event. One. Just one. Don't know which one, but I'm going to go to one.
Go to the free one. Just go to hang out with the Gente at Market Square.
John C. telling that guy who says that the other podcast is better, why don't you go play in traffic on 281? Hey, nothing but love for Rudy J and Mike Taylor. We listen to them too, but the great thing about podcasts, especially if you watch it on YouTube, is if you listen to this podcast, you can switch over to theirs and literally just take your finger and rewind to the beginning of the show. It's not like old school where you have, old school cable days where if you miss it, you missed it. You don't have to put on the VCR. You just go on to their show, hit rewind, and start watching. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. exactly.
So I've got it's almost noon. I got 25 minutes to go online and see if I'm going to get tickets to that concert. The Lovers and Friends concert.
There you go, man. You could do it.
VIP, $700 a ticket for VIP.
That's pricey, dude. Not that pricey.
$350 for general admission.
You think about it. I mean, the YouTube show, I was trying to see if I could get tickets for the wife for her birthday.
Yeah.
Those, I mean, they're expensive, bro. They're like 600 and up.
Yeah.
You know?
So I was on TikTok about this yesterday, and they were saying that this one guy went in 1 year as general admission. He went in 1 year as VIP. He goes, it's double the price. He goes, but it's worth it. He goes, the access you get to go from stage to stage, because there's 4 stages over there. He goes, it's easy access from one to the other. You have AC'd bathrooms. You've got water. He goes, the food selection's better. The drink selection's better. You can get drink faster. He goes, general admission, you're just out with everybody.
Let them eat cake. That's the peasants.
Yeah. So I'll get some tickets. I wonder how many I can get.
I don't know, dude. However deep your pocketbook is.
Oh, Mary J. Blige will not be there. $350 is what Joe Gonzalez. I've seen Mary J. in concert. She was awful.
Really?
She opened up for Boys to Men here in San Antonio. She was drunk off her ass on stage. And I kept saying that for so long. Oh, we got a tip.
Oh, the Drew Show.
Jeff McDonald did not vote for Wemby. Thoughts?
Jesus, man.
Well, I mean, here's the thing about Victor Wembanyama. And Spurs fans are not going to like this. He has played like an all-star the last 3 or 4 weeks, but wasn't playing like an all-star before that. If they were having the all-star game like the NFL, where it's the Pro Bowl after the season ends, I think he's an all-star. Do I think he's an all-star right now? No, I think right now he's fighting for it. I think right now he needs those 40, 50 game performances, the exclamation point to say, motherfuckers, I'm here.
Yeah.
He needs that. Because right now I think he's a little low. But averaging 20.4 points per game, 10.1 rebounds, averaging 3.5 assists. I don't blame Jeff McDonald for not voting for him. But let me ask you this question. The players got votes, right? The players vote. Why were people voting for C.D. Osman? C.D. Osman got 2 votes. Why did Zach Collins get 1 vote? Why did City Sissoko get a vote? Did you know that?
I know that. I knew that. I'm just saying that's the fan voting, dude.
Drew Show saying, stop it, Mike. Now, here's the thing. I think the NFL, I think the NBA wants him there. I think the NBA would love to have Victor Wembanyama there because it makes it more of an international show. And you get the phenom there. I think he wants him there. But I don't blame Jeff McDonald. I don't. He is not one of the 12 best players in the Western Conference this year. Not. Now, if you want to say, is he in the top 15, top 18? Yes. That's why he could possibly get one of those replacement spots. But he ain't going to be one of the reserves. Ain't going to happen.
I do like Jeff McDonald's Twitter background. His header that he has, it says free donkeys.
Manda Cavazos, Victor Wembanyama, Victor Wemby, when bet your ass the alien is going. Take receipts, just saying. I want him to go. See, that's the thing, man. Why do people put words into my mouth saying that I don't like him or I don't think he's deserving of this, that, and the other? I don't think that necessarily he's one of the top 12 players in the West this year.
Yeah.
He's not. But I think he's top 15, top 18, which means that if he is named an all-star, you can make a legitimate argument. You can make an argument that he's number 12. You can make a legitimate argument that he is one of the replacement players. But you couldn't make that argument in November. You couldn't make that argument in December. Now, if you're saying, what about January, Michael? Where is he in the West in January? In the West in January, Victor Wembanyama is a top 10 player. He's a top 10 player right now, this month in the NBA. But he wasn't that in December and November. That's the thing. John Williams is out and says, 49ers and Ravens Super Bowl. You know what? Those are the favorites. That's what Vegas thinks. But my head is telling me that that's what's going to happen. But my heart is telling, actually, that's my heart. My head is telling me that the Lions are better than advertised. My head is also telling me that Patrick Mahomes will find a way. Will find a way. This has been fun. If you want to listen to more Sports Talk Radio or Sports Talk podcasts right now, switch on over to In the Building with Rudy J and with Mike Taylor. You can follow them at Mike Taylor Show and at Rudy J. I don't know if he changed his handle, by the way, because he had ESPN at the back end of it.
He probably did.
Let's see here. Rudy J's a good guy, dude. I love Rudy J. His new handle is at Rudy J Star still, _star. Very cool. Go check them out. They were at Texas Your Liquor the other day. That was very cool. But I'm going to take off. Everyone have a fantastic Friday. Go Spurs go tonight, 8:30 tip-off. We'll be in section 14. Come drop us a beer. Come drop us a line. See you guys on Monday.
Peace.
Sydney Sweeney.